You can do hundreds of push-ups on your living room floor, but building three-dimensional shoulders without weights requires strict intention and specific anatomical execution. Let's start with a physical test to see where your mechanics stand. Stand up naturally and relax your arms completely at your sides. Now point your thumbs straight out away from your body. Take a look at the direction your thumbs are pointing. If they point toward each other instead of straight ahead, your mechanics are compromised. This is a hallmark of Burcross syndrome. It means a tight chest and a weak back have pulled your shoulder joints forward, forcing them into a state of internal rotation. Correcting this mechanical rotation is the mandatory first step. We have to fix the joint position before the deltoid muscles can properly engage and grow. We will begin with the pike push-up to target the front and side delts. Get into a push-up position and walk your feet forward until your body forms an inverted V shape. As you lower yourself, ensure the top of your head, not your nose, is the point of contact with the floor. Watch your elbows throughout the movement. If they flare out wide, you shift the stress to the joint capsule. Keep them tucked at a 45-degree angle to keep the tension on the muscle. For the side delts, grab two identical heavy household objects, like water jugs or loaded bags, for a set of lateral raises. Keep a slight bend in your elbows. As you reach the apex of the lift, rotate your wrists slightly, as if you are pouring a pitcher of water. If you have to use torso momentum to swing the weight upward, you are removing the tension from the side delts. This indicates the object is too heavy for the deltoids to move on their own. Executing these two movements with this specific focus prevents the chest and traps from stealing the tension required for front and side delt growth. To address the rear delts and counteract that forward rounded posture, lie flat on your back with your arms extended into a T position. Make tight fists and drive them forcefully into the floor. This action should lift your upper back off the ground using only your shoulder muscles. Keep your elbows locked at the same height as your shoulders. If they drop lower, the workload shifts to your lats and away from the posterior deltoid. It is normal to feel the temptation to crunch your abs to get off the floor. Focus on keeping a neutral spine and doing the work through the back of the shoulder. The final move is the plank shoulder tap. Start from a high push-up position with your hands directly under your shoulders. Reach up and tap the opposite shoulder while keeping your hips completely square to the floor. If your hips rotate, widen your foot stance to increase your stability. Forcing the rear delts to activate while your core stabilizes the spine provides the mechanical correction needed to reverse the upper cross syndrome we found earlier. Without gym equipment, you apply progressive overload by systematically increasing your reps, finding heavier items, or slowing down the speed of each repetition to increase time under tension. But we also have to consider the frequency. We need to know how many days a week this routine should be performed to maximize results without causing injury. This table from a 2025 meta-analysis shows the relationship between weekly training frequency and muscle growth. Looking at the SMD column, hypertrophic gains increase significantly up to 3 sessions per week, but then plateau between 3 and 4 sessions. Many people assume that training every single day will produce faster results, but the data suggests that additional sessions beyond a certain point provide no extra growth stimulus. This second table tracks injury risk across the same frequencies. You can see in the relative risk column that the probability of overuse injury escalates exponentially once you move to 4 and 5 sessions per week. This happens because your connective tissue requires between 48 and 96 hours to remodel collagen after a workout. Without that window, you are simply accumulating microdamage. When we map these two data points together, the intersection reveals the most effective training frequency. 3 weekly sessions represent the peak for muscle adaptation, before the risk of injury begins to outweigh the benefits. Drop to the floor right now and complete 3 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions for all 4 of these exercises. Following this routine 3 days a week provides the specific stimulus required for biological adaptation, resulting in consistent, visible shoulder growth.